Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. Welcome. Thanks for joining me for today's video. We're going to talk about one of my favorite tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call it, but this is really how I visualize on the guitar fretboard getting from the major to the minor blues sound. Now, hopefully you're already familiar with the major blues sound and the minor blues sound. They are the same 5 boxes. If you're not familiar, for example, we have, good old box 1. So box 1 is in A minor, right? I can play that and I'm going to get the A minor sound. But if I, for example, put my pinky there, I can even add in the blue note, I'm going to get a major pentatonic or a major blues sound. If I start with my box 2, again on that A at the 5th fret of the 6th string, more importantly, the A at the 5th fret of the 1st string, right? Now, this is one of those things I talk about a lot, but you might not have heard it in a while, so I'll say it again. We don't solo in the basement, okay? We don't usually, not all the time, but usually we don't have a lot of soloing going on down here. So that's kind of a drag because a lot of us learn our boxes from down here. We don't learn them from up here. So if you don't already know your boxes from the higher root options, which in the case of box 1, right, for a minor sound, there's a root, right? Both of those are going to turn out to be useful for the lick we're going to learn today. From a major perspective, again, I'm going to do box 2. And again, those roots are shared. Okay, this is the thing that's important. I have the exact same root note regardless of whether I'm playing major or minor. And if I'm playing minor, I have a flatted third. There is no flatted third in the major sound. They both have a root. If I'm playing minor, I have a flatted 7, and there is no flatted 7 in the major sound. There is a 5th in both of them. There's only a 4th in the minor blues sound. Of course, there's only a flatted 3rd in the minor blues sound unless you're playing the blue note. Things like that. So there are notes that are separate, right? But the note you can always count on as being shared. And this is the spot where these two sounds come together, is around that root. Okay, at least that's how I like to think of it. It makes a lot of sense when you transcribe a lot of licks from Albert King, B.B. King, Freddie King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, blah, 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 all those people over the decades. When you look at what they do, this kind of seems to make sense, okay? So here's how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to think about, okay, I want a major blues sound right around here. So I'm going to play box 2. But I'm only going to go down this far. I know I could go down all the way, but I'm just going to go down to the 4th string. Again, it's a slightly different way to play it, right? I'm just noodling, right? Just make sure that feels comfortable. And then from here, I'm going to real quick pause. I'm going to reset my brain, and I'm going to go, okay, now I want the minor sound. Again, only down as far as this root, right? I've got the 2 roots. I'm just gonna kind of noodle. Maybe I'll add the blue note, maybe I won't. Then I'm gonna kind of stop, reset my thinking. Now I want the major sound. I'm gonna stop, reset my thinking. Now I want the minor sound, right? So I'm around this note right here, this root, I'm switching between boxes 1 for the minor sound, box 2 for the major sound. I can do the same thing from this root here at the 7th fret of the 4th string. I can say I want the minor sound. Just noodle a little bit, stop, reset my brain. Now I want major, box 2. Now I want minor. So I'm going to reset my brain, and I'm going to play that shape. So as you can see, it's kind of all mental, right? You probably know box 1 already. You probably know box 2 already. This is just mentally reconfiguring where we're putting them on the fretboard. It's really that simple, okay? People like to make this out to be a lot harder than it is. And it's pretty simple, but what I don't want you to do is something like the 3-fret rule, because then you end up looking at the wrong root and you tend to play stuff and you go, wow, that really doesn't sound very good. Well, yeah, it's because you're playing F sharp minor instead of A major. And I know they're all the same notes, but F sharp is not relevant to our key. It's so you have a tendency, if you're thinking that you're playing like an F sharp minor thing, you have a tendency to look for F sharps, and we don't care about F sharps, we care about A's. So that's why I look at things this way. Okay, so let's take a look at this lick that I got for you today. So if you can imagine a slow blues, right? I was thinking about, one of my favorite times is the quick change of a slow blues, right? So it comes in, first bar is A, then the quick change up to the D, to the 4, and then back to the 1. Okay, so this is a really, really great time to kind of show off a little bit, because it's a good time to go back and forth between the sounds. So here's what I did. I have the first part of this lick. I'm going to go from the 7, hammer on the blue note to the 3rd, 5th, 6th, root, and then I'm going to bend up that 2 to the major 3rd. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. A little faster. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I've got just a little bit of a break in there, and then it's going to go to the D chord. And again, I'm going to use that as my pivot, as my root pivot, and I'm going to now come down over the D chord. So I'm going to use the minor blues. 1 and I'm literally just going to walk down. So 3rd to the 1st, flat 7, 5th, then the 4th up to the 5th, return it down to the flatted 3rd, root pulls off to the 7th. I'm going to go ahead and dip down onto the 5th string for just this one note, because that's what people do sometimes and it sounds fine. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you could take that slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if I hammer on or pull off and you prefer to pick, then pick. If I pick and you want to pull off, that's fine. It's not really important at all. So if I put those two lines together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I'm going to go back to the root. Okay, so again, I'm going to reconfigure. It's time for the 1 chord to come back. It's time for me to switch back to the major sound. So I'm going to reconfigure around that root, 1 and I'm just going to do the root and the 3rd. Again, with that little, you can slide or hammer on. It's just a really nice sound. I call this bluesifying the 3rd. That's sort of a topic for another day, but if I put that all together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And admittedly, because I have a lot of stuff that's not on beat 1, I could actually put the chord in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Right? So you kind of hear, even if I don't play the chord, even if I don't play it at all, you still hear the change. It's as if you can hear the chords going by, even though there's no chords going by. That is a great guitar solo, always, okay? That's one of the things that we strive for. Let's play it just a little bit faster. Let's put it over my, I just played a little 12-bar blues in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Right? And that is it. That is how it sounds. Super simple, super straightforward, but very, very powerful stuff. If you can get comfortable going back and forth between the two sounds like that, there's, obviously there are gobs of licks to be had. I have plenty of them. I have a course called Major Minor Blues Sounds that goes into all of this. And of course, every pair of boxes is going to work this way, okay? Not to give too much away, but obviously if I can switch back and forth between this root, right? Well, what if I have this? Box 2 is minor, which means box 3 would be major, right? Or if I was over here, box 4 would be major, so box 3 would be minor. If box 4 was minor, box 5 would be major, right? And it goes on and on and on like that. But I know how to do them all from their respective roots. And there's some cool things you can do. I know that seems really challenging, but it's really not as bad as you think, because there's usually only 2 roots, usually only 1, maybe 2 that are actually useful. And it's really not that tough to see where that pivot is. So again, I'll leave that for another day, but in case you're interested, I'll leave a link to that course near this video. But I hope you'll try this lick out. And more importantly, I hope you'll kind of do the noodling I was doing before the lick, just to sort of familiarize yourself with this idea that, you know, hey, I can play, you know, box 1, and then I could go to box 2, and I can change right then and there between the 2 sounds pretty effortlessly. All right, hope you dig the video. If you have guitar playing friends that you think would get something out of it, I hope you'll share it with them. As always, I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I will leave links near this video for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.